In Minecraft's most immersive roleplay experience, 250 people play characters and nations across a fantasy continent. Just like in real life, if you die, you remain dead. Forever. So one day, you could just be LARPing as an onion farmer, when all of the sudden... Oh. If you don't know what Progeny is, let me explain in under 30 seconds. It's a Minecraft roleplay event held roughly twice a year. Between each event, 20 years pass in-game. First event, aka Generation 1, you got 3 boats sailing into a big cloud of evil fog that eats your memories, and they crash onto a new continent. Nations form, Aaron and Wave, 2 of them, fight. Aaron wins. Generation 2, meteors fall, they get turned into the legendary weapons. A guy explodes a volcano. Generation 3, the evil fog moves a little bit. An island is revealed. The island has a nest with huge giant eggs. People steal the eggs, a bunch of leaders die, but no war happens and no dragon comes. Congratulations, you're up to speed with the first 3 generations. Here's the 4th one. Welcome to Aaron's capital, Aaron City. In the main castle, Carmine Fell, Empress Malia Venthyr is meeting with the leader of 2 of her vassal states. These vassals say they've been tasked with a holy mission by the ghost of the guy who exploded the volcano a while ago to protect the volcano. Which is interesting, because the volcano's steward, Monty Planchette, son of the guy who exploded the volcano, has been guarding it for 20 years, and this is the first he's hearing of a deal. So he says he'll talk to the ghost about it. A bit further north, we see Aaron's military, the Crimson Talons, holding drills. There hasn't been a real war in Mistvale since Aaron's inception, but they are not a paper tiger. They are always ready for conflict, or whatever this is.
He's making them run suicides? He's making them run suicides!
Speaking of shit that happened many years ago, Longfork wants to find all the eggs they stole, mostly to experiment, but also just know where they are, and they realize they have no idea. Luckily, Detective Quigley Inglebum brings them one, and Ryder Burnham brings them another. So in Progeny, there's 3 monuments with ancient writing on them that have existed since Generation 1. Think like Stonehenge meets Rosetta Stone. For 4 generations, nobody's figured out why they exist or what they do. Until today. Aaron researchers Amelia Coltsfoot, Damian Kopolov, and Eloise Bavovovo trigger the Fairvale Monument by offering it crops. The plant life in town flourishes, and new species of flowers begin to grow. Cut over to Axon, a small camp of neutral researchers who have been getting ready to make a nation. Its members have done great things for the people of Mistvale, but sometimes, bad things happen to good people. Why was it attacking them? Why had it destroyed their home? Why was it asking about its progeny in the ancient language? Its progeny. The egg. Irene had an egg. In a tense standoff at the Longfork Dam, Irene offers its egg to the dragon, and it accepts, flying away and sparing Irene's life. Before it attacked Axon, the dragon hit Aaron. Citizens on the east side were safely evacuated to Dragonstone, and a majority of the beast's rage was dialed in on the grave of the beloved Spica Forester. The west side of the Empire wasn't attacked at all. The dragon turned towards Longfork's capital, Longfork Central. It reduced the oldest town on the continent to a pile of rubble. The dragon made the eruption at Ember's Hollow look like child's play in comparison. The death count was enormous. History was lost. Families were torn asunder. And it wasn't done. Next it hits Cobb, burning their library, their generations of knowledge to the ground almost, if not saved by their Lord Protector and a farmer who did his part. The dragon then reaches the southernmost tip of Mistvale, unleashing its fury on Polyria. Xandros Castle nearly collapses in on itself as the entire roof burns and smoke cascades down to the lower levels. Citizens are fleeing only to run outside into dragon fire and trampling mobs until the dragon has had its fill and it returns north. Remember those monuments I mentioned? The ones that have been here since Generation 1? Well, during the dragon's rage, the obelisk is damaged. Its north face is scratched. Curiously, after this, we see the first reports of the fog to the north receding. For the first time in 60 years, humans are able to brave the dark forest and discover a whole new half of the continent. Beforehand, we had this. Now we have this. Boom! During its rage in Longfork Central, the dragon took a gash out of a southern mountain, revealing a cave. This cave led to a temple, pristine in condition. Too pristine. This place had been built by human hands in recent years. Explorers flocked to it, hoping to find treasure, but all they found were devilish puzzles, scrawled texts, and deadly lava parkour. Beloved Frankenham Zephyrin, in an effort to save 2 other explorers, fell into the lava and died. The 2 other explorers weren't in any danger, they were fine. It's around this time when Axon decides to pack it up and take their tattered tents somewhere new. People are starting to get a little suspicious of Leighton Kane in Polyria. Why was Xandros the only other place attacked nearly as hard as Longfork Central? The place where we know there were at least 2 eggs. The dragon has decided to make its lair in the ruins of the Longfork Museum. Sometimes it leaves to hunt, but when it is present, people will attempt to parlay with it at its hoard. A system is set up for those meetings where 2 representatives from each nation may be present. Over the course of the day, a few eggs actually make it back to the hoard. Okay, win for humanity. After the 4th egg is returned, the dragon reveals himself to be named Rex Rana, King of Frogs, and he states that if his progeny are not returned, he will end the civilizations of everyone who has an egg. Rex Rana posits that he wants the strongest artifact in Mistvale. The humans, realizing the danger, try to talk up Alwyn's silver sword as if it's their strongest weapon, but they are quickly outed as Rex Rana is made aware of Steel Shaper, the Strongfoot clan heirloom, which is on Baron Strongfoot's back right now. Rex Rana wants it as penance for the late delivery of his egg. That's when Baron pulls the ultimate move in negotiation. If you don't want to give something up that you're holding, you back away and tell them, yep, I'll give it to you, yep, and then you leave. The intent is clear. The dragon wants to defang humanity, to be able to rule over us like cattle. Caspian Wright, Monty Planchette, Baron Strongfoot, and Benji Strongfoot all gather outside the lair to discuss the possibility of having to take a more direct approach with the dragon. Alwyn Vendel, Adrian Norwood, and Monty Planchette meet in promise to try and find a new way to injure the beast. After testing a litany of Aaron artifacts, the only one to actually break the scale is Sky Metal. If they want even a chance at killing this thing, they're going to need to find a way to keep it on the ground. Checking back in with Axon, they've found a scorching desert. Just wearing armor in this barren land bakes you from the inside out. There is but a single respite, an oasis nearby that they all quickly flock to. While taking a break at the oasis, they discover ruins of an ancient ziggurat that they begin to unearth. The nation of Axon is officially founded in this oasis, in their new capital, Axonopolis. Just err on the side of caution when you're vacationing here. I hear the weather is less than ideal. Oh my god! After settling down, Sagarika Zaharan gets back to what she's been working on for the last 20 years. Through her in-depth research into the composition of dragon scales, based on the samples she gathered from the nest 20 years ago, she finally makes a breakthrough with their form. Up in Axon, the first new military advancement since Sky Metal is made, as Sagarika Zaharan and her cousin Izice discover how to craft the first dragon scale shield. As if things couldn't get more tense at the dragon's lair, someone has decided it's a great idea to break into the hoard while the dragon is away and steal its eggs. Now, you may be wondering, aren't there guards at the entrance? Yes. Turns out, there was a secret entrance to the museum the whole time that no one told us about, that 2 thieves used to get past the guards. Axon learned what a shovel was! Good job! They spend the rest of G4 digging around in the sand. Oh, also one of them invents a way for the desert to not hurt anymore. Remember how the Fairvale Monument was activated? Well, the Corallian Monument is illegally activated as well, and over in Polyria, the Rainfall Monument is also activated. That means all 3 poem monuments have been successfully activated, but it took 4 gens to figure this out. Leighton Kane, Polyrian Archon, upon his first visit to the dragon's lair, is brought up to speed and joins the planned attack. Benji Strongfoot is tasked with inventing a new weapon out of the scraps of Sky Metal they have remaining to be able to stop the dragon from flying. He jets off to the forge at Drakeshold and crafts Serpentine's Ruin, the first and last of the Sky Metal ballista bolts. Corporosis, leader of Nenustus, declares himself the High Priest of the Dragon. Corporosis, leader of Nenustus, is swiftly murdered by Aaron. The plan was to lure Rex Rana to the Crystal Fields so that nowhere else would be destroyed in their battle. Caspian and Monty then went to Wynn and Taichi Pita Potts, the leaders of Longfork's military, to see if they would commit men to the fight.
Ignore that.
Beautiful.
That's a table. Oh,
of which they agree. Rex Rana then held Caspian at child point and forced him to write a bounty on Monty for, murdering his high priest. While Longfork's head leader, Caspian, has been busy with the dragon, Taichi Pita Potts was acting independently from the Longfork Council. They were exercising their power very liberally in the arrests of some supposed criminals. People saw them having secret meetings with masked knights, and it always seemed like they were plotting something mysterious. In Aaron's sunny port city of Vicentia, John Cromwell, in a fit of rage, murders his business partner, Vera Planchette. Normally, this random act of wanton violence wouldn't be important for the overarching political knowledge of the event, but this murder, which took place in Aaron, with an Aaronite victim, and an Aaronite perpetrator. Anyone want to guess who arrested John? Wynn Pita Potts took an Aaronite citizen to a Longfork jail for a crime done in Aaron. John was a scummy, abusive husband.
you got legs, right?
So maybe one could assume it was just some sick kicks to the guy, and it would become water under the bridge once Aaron extradited him, until his husband visited him and was murdered by Wynn, who then killed John and made it look like a double suicide. Why? Luckily, a certain mason working at the castle overheard everything. Over in Ember's Hollow, the Strongfoots, Fiero, and Aizen, Sigarika's cousin, gather at the old forge to try to shape more of the dragon scales they have into shields. They successfully forged 2 new works of art, new masterpieces for the Smiths of Mistvale. At dawn, it was time for the dragon fight. The plan was simple. Aaron and Paleria would ready themselves at the Crystal Fields. They would be spread a bit thin to guard both medical dugouts, but they would be supplemented by Longfork later on, so they shouldn't have any loss of life. Longfork would bait out the dragon by revealing Monty's location, and then follow behind Rex Rana to help fill out ranks. While the ground troops were busy, Sebastian Fierro would take to the tallest crystal, mounting his ballista and waiting for the perfect opportunity to take the shot and ground the dragon. Everything almost went according to plan. The dragon came as expected, but Longfork didn't. Without their supplemental numbers, the humans were in a bad position. Double so due to the onslaught of frog warriors ravaging the field. The frogs also weren't the only enemy. Remember that Leighton Kane guy that joined the plan late? Yeah, he's a leader in Paleria and people don't like him. So he has an assassination attempt happen to him a couple times during the dragon fight, but there's like this dragon in the way, so the assassin should really have chosen a better time. With Serpentine's Ruin, Sebastian Fierro aimed true, hitting Rex Rana directly in the wing joint. He cast the beast from the sky, allowing soldiers below to sink their teeth into the drake. The dragon fled north to the ruins of Wave Castle, where it made its final stand before departing in rage. The land was safe from the Frog King's tyranny. Of the participants, Jujin Milano, Kessel Baker, Baron Strongfoot, Ezel Lehrman, Ragnar Lehrman, and Edmund Dragonmarks all gave their lives for Mistvale. Longfork not showing up enraged the rest of humanity's forces, but they decided to regroup and bury their dead instead of pushing into another battle. It's later revealed that the dragon knew of the plan the entire time. There was a traitor amongst the humans. It said that if Longfork went to battle, the dragon would eat every mother and father in front of their children before burning the nation to the ground. But even with some nations refusing to join the fray, brave Kabians, Longforkers, privateers were all present with Aaron and Paleria's forces at the Crystal Fields. You remember that mason from before? Well, they took their story to the media. The media searched the castle for evidence, and inside of Taichi Pitapot's office, they found a book written by Taichi talking about how they had a plot to murder Monty because he had killed Corporosis, Leighton because he was a chud, and Morgan because she did some shady shit as an aquamarine 20 years ago. Daniel Suarez, the reporter, made a Longfork Times article exposing Taichi and Wen Pitapot's, and then defected to Caldera for safety because they just whistle blew. Those masked knights from Taichi's evil secret meetings, turns out they were Elena Kane and associates, who wanted to hold Leighton Kane on trial and strip him of his archonship. The plot actually went through flawlessly. They used his mobilization of Palerian knights against the dragon as evidence for treason, since he didn't ask permission from the other Archon first. Leighton Kane is exiled. Aaron Empress Malia Venthyr passes away in her sleep. Following her funeral, her son Macbeth Venthyr ascends to the throne. A funeral is held in the Wave Memorial Gardens for the brave soldiers who died in the Dragonfell, namely Edmund Dragonmarks, who served as Lord Commander of the Crimson Talons for many years. Edmund Dragonmarks showed up to his own funeral.
I'm a fucking Dragonmarks, not some marks to be left by a dragon.
I'm noticing I don't really have to talk about Ember's Hollow this video. Big fan of that. Let's keep that going into the next gen. Not everyone can be as good as this video, though. Wendy Winters is executed in Aaron for her repeated, premeditated breaking of the Ventherian code by trespassing into Ember's Hollow. Guys, please ask. Just ask Aaron leadership. Just a hand or anyone. Please, please. It's so easy. The Longfork Games are held. It's a bicentennial competition, so once every generation, and it's kind of like the Progeny Olympics. This time, Aaron brought home the win, with Corallian coming in second and Longfork in third. Longfork uses nepotism by crashing the Potts family dinner to get some key testimonies for a trial they want to hold against the Calderon Lady Commander, Morgan Drake. The following day, leaders of Paleria, Longfork, and Aaron all receive letters signed by Morgan Drake outing Raoul from the information they gathered the night before. Basically, they have a smoking gun depicting Caldera as the traitors of humanity. While people were distracted with sports, Taichi Pitapot's went rogue, gathering combatants from multiple nations who all wanted justice and apprehending Morgan Drake for betraying humanity to the dragon. Multiple knights from varying nations banded together under Taichi's leadership, and they stormed the shores of Caldera, masked under the name Ebony Horns to stay anonymous. When they arrived, they found Phoebe Pita, Taichi's twin, dead on the shores. Taichi approached Aurelian Rivermore, the Knight of Caldera, and requested a one-on-one audience with Morgan, to which the knight responded by promptly running away and telling everyone to run to the castle they were being invaded. While approaching the wall, Taichi declared that they just wanted to talk, and nobody will die if you come out, Morgan. The Calderan knight on the wall shot and killed an old horse nearby. To avenge the horse, an ebony horn threw an entire stack of bricks at the Calderon one at a time. They got bored and besieged the castle, but it was like super empty. Caldera had fled. +1 castle to Longfork, I guess. Y'all remember that cousin that helped make the shields and that dude that was at the pots thing? Yeah, he's the Archon of Rainfall now, one of the 2 Palerian places. He gets an interesting proposition after this raid where Morgan Drake comes to him with her kids and begs for asylum. Lots of people don't really want to step in on Longfork and Caldera's business, but Izice decides that he will protect her kids, but she's got to go somewhere else. Longfork decided to then waste everyone's time with a long, drawn-out trial for Morgan Drake and her crimes. During this trial, some key witnesses who said they'd testify refused to come forward. Every nation had a say in it for some reason, and the 2 biggest criminals in Mistveil, Taichi and Winpita Potts, who were promised a trial afterwards, escaped to the north. On the plus side, they finally got to use the cage. On the downside, nothing ever happens. Calderon got their castle back, and they promised they forgave Longfork. So net 0 consequences to both sides' actions. You watched the video this far, you might as well subscribe. The Progeny Discord is the first link in the description. Applications are open now for the next week, so you should go, apply while you can. Oh, and please comment anything I got wrong. I'm looking forward to the stories you're all gonna tell, because we can do them collaboratively.